John here, and welcome to another episode of Cheat Meal Life, where we help people lose weight and keep it off while still enjoying food to the max. So, you messed up on your diet, huh? Well, it happens to the best of us. Now, does that mean we just throw in the towel and go on a downward spiral and eating binges and just say, forget it, I wasn't meant to lose weight in the first place? No, I don't think so. So how do we recover from this and just continue on making progress? Well, let's get into it. Now, first off, let me start by saying when it comes to dieting, it's not if you slip up, it's when you slip up. Because, let's face it, it's going to happen. It happens to everybody. No big deal. It's just a natural part of the process. Now, you may start out with an iron will, and that happens with a lot of us. And yes, take advantage of that. Let that carry you through as long as it can. But things are going to happen. Life happens. Birthday party comes around, an unexpected visit from a friend, and you weren't intending on doing this, and all of a sudden, what you planned to be a 1,500 calorie day ended up turning into a 4,000 calorie day. So what do you do when this happens? I know a lot of people, they get very discouraged. They start to doubt themselves. That self-talk in their mind becomes very negative, and they start reaffirming the things that basically told them that they can't do it. Oh, I knew I was going to mess up. I knew I couldn't do it. All these little things, and you gotta stop doing that. You have to realize that you are not going to just lose all this weight overnight. You didn't put it on overnight, and it's not going to disappear magically over the course of 2 weeks. And over this period of time, there are going to be things that happen to where you stumble a little bit. So when this happens to us, one of the first things you gotta do is to realize it's done and over with, okay? You can't go back in time and change it, okay? You did it, you probably enjoyed it, but now here we are, and now we gotta deal with the consequences of it. And again, that is okay, but we can't go back and change it. So dwelling on it, thinking about it, rehashing it, and beating yourself up over it's gonna get you nowhere. What you need to do is say, okay, today's a new day, and this is what I'm gonna do going forward. Now, aside from not dwelling on the past and just rehashing things over and over again, you need to be looking forward. What was the reason you made this goal in the first place of losing weight? This is where that deeper why that we've talked about in a previous video as well is so unbelievably important. You have to have that strong reason that's driving you to do what you're doing. Hopefully you made the decision, you made the commitment that you are going to lose this weight. And that with that decision, there is no turning back. So when you have a little slip up, okay, no big deal. Remember why you made this commitment to begin with. Whether it's health, you want to look better, you want to have the energy to play with your kids, whatever is driving you, that is what you have to bring to mind. Now let me give you a little example of what just happened with me. So I was in Flagstaff filming my ultimate calorie challenge video, which by the way, you need to check out. It was pretty awesome. But my intention was to eat as many calories as I can over Saturday, and then of course, keep it nice and clean over the rest of the trip and throughout the rest of the week. So what ended up happening? Well, I ended up consuming 40,000 calories over the course of those 4 days. I was not planning on doing it, but it happened. So what do? Initially, I'm like, okay, it's done and over with. I did it. It was a huge amount of fun, but now, okay, I'm 22 pounds heavier. What am I gonna do? Well, I remember my goals. I know where I want to get. I'm committed to it. I remember my why. I remember the reason that I'm doing this. I remember my brother. I remember my family. I remember my kids. All these things. That's why it's so important to have that strong why backing you up. So when things happen to where kind of pushes back the time frame you think you're going to be able to achieve a certain weight or a goal, no problem. Just adjust the deadline. If I got to move it out another week or two to get there, great. Readjust it and keep going forward. Don't use that as an excuse to throw in the towel because you're not going to hit a certain date. Set a new date and you keep going forward. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So yes, I didn't intend on eating 40,000 calories over the course of 4 days. I didn't intend on gaining 22 pounds over 4 days, but I did. Okay, so no big deal. Gonna keep moving forward, gonna keep on doing what I do, and it's gonna come off, and before I know it, I'm gonna be right back on track, right back at the weight that I need to be to continue forward making progress and doing that type of stuff. Now, another common mistake people make after they have a slip up is they tend to go extreme to make up for it. Don't do this, okay? being extreme is just going to burn you out. It's not sustainable, and it can lead to deeper frustration and end up taking you down a further downward spiral. I know. It's happened to me many times. I'm speaking from experience here. So don't get extreme about it. When you make a mistake, go back to your normal plan. Stick to the game plan. Okay, whatever amount of calories it is you've decided to eat per day, whatever exercise you're going to do, get right back on it. Don't say, okay, now I got to cut the calories in half and double the exercise. That is just a recipe for disaster. Now, I'm not saying to not put in more energy and excitement when you're feeling it, but don't go extreme because you messed up and you think you have to make up for lost time. It just doesn't work well. Now, while you don't want to be extreme about things, don't confuse that with inactivity. It's very important that you get moving in the right direction right away. Take some action. Make yourself a healthy meal. Do some meal prep. Go out for a walk. Take steps forward in the right direction that's bringing you closer to your goal. Inactivity is just a time for people to dwell and start being negative. Hey, when you're moving forward, when you're taking action, you don't have time to think about the negative things. You are just moving forward towards your goal. Hey, get going right away. You slipped up, no big deal. Own it, take responsibility, don't let it bother you, and just keep moving forward because you are going to get to your goal eventually. And that's really all there is to it. You know, believe in yourself. I know you can do it. I can do it. I am doing it. I'm going to continue to do it, and so can you. So thanks for joining me. I hope this information was useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, you can lose weight and still eat great. See you in the next episode.